One thought that occurred to me was that we would have a wonderful opportunity to shoot from the sky if we could ask a helicopter company to participate in this. So I contacted Epic Helicopters. Brian Dunaway, the owner, is a wonderful TCU friend, and he said, absolutely, we'll do it. We scheduled a whole afternoon.
So the day we had the helicopter at TCU was probably one of the most exhausting days of my life. I just was being directed around by a ton of individuals and was pouring sweat the entire day. I was soaked in sweat, and it was probably 100 degrees outside. And so it started out with me being on the football field by myself, singing the lyrics when they played it over the loud system, and a helicopter flew around me. And so all these people that were in the athletic complex came out and looked on the field, and they were all just like, what is going on right now? This guy wearing boots is going crazy on the field with a helicopter flying around him. And then we went to the top of the south end zone with Super Frog and the cheerleaders, and for the football players.
The players, 4 very recognizable players, Jeremy Curley and Jake Kirkpatrick and Marcus Cannon and Andy Dalton, our quarterback, were so excited about being a part of this, but we had forgotten sunglasses. We wanted them to have sunglasses so they could look extra cool. So there were 4 women, so we loaned our sunglasses to them, and Andy Dalton wore mine. I think the glasses are forever ruined, but I don't care, because it was really fun to see all of them posed in our sunglasses.
We taught them the "we fight back" hand motion, and they did it up on the roof with the helicopter going over, and we had all of these issues about not being able to hear each other.
When the helicopter came over our heads, I would joke with the photographer that was in the helicopter that we could have high-fived when he came by, because we were that close as they came over our heads, so that was cool. Brian's staff is incredible. They are the best pilots I've ever flown with. Brian's a tremendous pilot.
We had the cheerleaders just doing all kinds of cheers over and over again on the roof, and they were fantastic.
Then I got in and out of a helicopter, flew around campus. From the Greek, that was a cool shot, and then we did a shot with the Zetas, where they were all in a big pink ribbon formation with beach balls, and I was singing as the helicopter flew over and took shots.
The Zetas were the important part of the video that we shot with a helicopter, because we were forming the breast cancer awareness ribbon on the Commons. And we had to decide what time we were going to do that, because we had to finish with the helicopter before Coach Patterson was starting his practice. It took a lot longer than we thought. We practiced in the rec center. We had about 150 people. We had to form the ribbon and practice the location of the ribbon and then replicate that out on the campus Commons. And when we got out to the campus Commons, we were at least 45 minutes late.
The most complicated part of that day was just moving from one scene to the next, because all the scenes were booked. The helicopter never really shut down that day. All the parties on the ground and the football players and cheerleaders and the Zetas, everyone was moving from one location to the next. And when we were shooting on the stadium, the Zetas were already practicing in the gym.
The helicopter had to go back to Meacham to refuel, because we were going to run out of time and gasoline, and we didn't want a helicopter crashed on the lawn of the campus Commons. So when we got started, we had about 30 minutes to pull this together.
I had to teach them to run into the ribbon and out. And then once we got out there again, we had to change our plan, because they told us that the running in and out of the ribbon didn't work from the helicopter because there was too much shaking. So we had to just have them in place in the ribbon formation and move the balls right and left. And that ended up working really well.
The culmination was we're shooting the aerial with everybody in the Commons, and we're forming the ribbon, and I'm on the radio with the pilot, and the pilot's like, this is not looking like a ribbon. And so here we are at the last minute, and I'm running around, and the pilot's like, okay, the left lower part of the ribbon is not, long enough. And so the very last few minutes of that shoot, about 5 minutes before we actually started rolling, we were just positioning people at the very last second.
It was this constant changing of plan, because things constantly change. What you have in your mind is not what you end up getting. And what I had in my mind as a choreographer isn't what the camera necessarily saw. So there were constant shifts, but the helicopter day was fantastic. It was really fun.